Shalom.
Shalom.
This is the brothers of GMS, Houston, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles coming at you with another live lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe, made brothers enduring to the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
And you know, with this lesson, brothers are just kind of going into an open forum. There's just so many things taking place. And hey, as Apostle Tahar has been saying lately, it's just so much news coming out that it's hard to keep track of it. And, that's why we constantly got to stay upon our watch, making sure we feed the flock, which, we're going to start off with that Habakkuk chapter 2. I got, Habakkuk chapter 2. Yeah, you can start at the top and read down to verse 3.
This is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and sit upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
And hey, that's our point. That's our whole purpose as being, the watchmen right now. The prophets of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, standing upon our watch, reading the scriptures, watching current events, and filtering, the current events and the news through the scriptures to go out and feed the flock. And not just feed the flock, but tell the wicked of our people and these heathens this great judgment that's about to take place. Keep going.
I got it, bro.
It says, verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run and read it.
And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're writing this vision down through these video epistles and going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, breaking it down with 144% accuracy. And we are in the times to where, the prophets would be able to break down these scriptures and say exactly what it was meant to be said. Because in the past, when the prophets saw these visions, they didn't know, they just knew, they didn't know what America was America. That's why it was referred to as Mystery Babylon, Babylon the Great, the nuclear missiles. They weren't going to say a hypersonic missile or Satan 2. So they described it as swords and spears and javelins. But what did they also say? That it would bring about a great fire. So now that we're here in these times, living through these prophecies, we're able to make the vision plain upon tables. And as it says, that he may run that readeth it, the hopeful elect, hearing these words and understanding them, comprehending them, and doing what they can to stay in the good graces of their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, so they can be hoped up, so that they can hope to be saved during Jacob's trouble, which is quickly coming upon us, as Apostle Tahar has also deemed 2024 to be the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Got that verse 3 out?
Okay. This is verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
And hey, we're living in the appointed times for these prophecies to come to their fulfillment. And, we're going to have to get that 2 Peter's where it talks about how, in the past, there have been our people and just scoffers saying, oh, we've heard this vision said since old times, but it hasn't come to pass. Why is that? Because it wasn't the appointed time. But again, we are living in these appointed times. And it says, though it tarry, wait for it will surely come. It will not tarry. And since we're in the last seconds of these last days, they're no longer tarrying. They're openly talking about nuclear missiles being used in the mainstream. People are saying World War III, and we're seeing that C-hip. The mark in the forehead with Neuralink, and just different CNN. I believe it's CNN, MSNBC, and just mainstream media outlets talking about we're coming into a time where having C-hip implants in you is going to be the future of society for buying and selling, and just going about your daily life.
And that's what killed them camps that say it's sin. Recently, they had a camp come out talking about it's sin. Right, but when you continue to read down in the prophecy of Revelations, right, the 13th chapter, it tells you that the number of the name was 666, right? When you go into that, it goes into what of ancient usage. It says when servants were bored, the stamp of their owners.
Yeah.
You see?
It's a high size stigma. So we're going into what the brother was saying, where it says, to ancient Oriental usage, a mark that was cut, pricked into the skin of servants to show their obedience to a master or a token to their gods, which, if you receive that charagma, you're saying that Esau, these elites, are your god, and you're worshiping his system, fully locked into it. But you go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, let the bro get his precept.
This is Ezekiel chapter 3.
That's what.
In verse 17, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
Hey, that's our whole purpose right now, is to be the watchman of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, standing upon our watchtower, speaking unto the house of Israel, telling them exactly what's about to take place. We have no other purpose besides that. It ain't about getting the bag. Now of course, if Jake, has a business or a job or something, we're not telling you to quit it, but what we're telling you is to not put your full focus on it, because all these things are about to pass away. Your first, love, your first initiative should be prophesying these words and being a watchman unto our people. Keep going on.
Right, because if I can speak on, because, when you come to this thing, all right, you're making these, money, a bad person, whatever. You're not supposed to be wavering. All right, you're supposed to be steadfast and focus on the task at hand. It's what prophesying to Israel. All right, telling our people who they are according to their nationality. All right, and also pushing the name of Yahweh Bahashem Shai and become a part of the hope we live. All right, so that's what the Lord have us set up to do. To prophesy the downfall of America and tell our people what's going to happen before it happens. All right, because in the ancient times, before things all hell broke loose, before all hell broke loose, the Lord raised up men to prophesy of the downfall of those kingdoms. All right, so that's what we're doing. The same thing.
God, hold on real quick. I just want to give me one quick verse.
In 2 Peter chapter 4 and verse 2, it says, preach the word, be instant, in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
That's our whole purpose, is to be instant, in season and out of season, preaching the word, whether it's cold, it's hot, you're sick, you don't feel like doing it, you've got issues bothering you in the flesh. Our whole purpose is to preach the word and be instant, in season and out of season, as it's saying, rebuking and exhorting with all long suffering and doctrine, rebuking our people for their wickedness, as the brother's going into it, that Ezekiel chapter 3, and what also exhorting our people, exhorting the hopeful elect that, look, this society we're living in, where we're perpetual second-class citizens, looked at as the scum of society, is going to come to an end. And these heathens, chiefly these so-called white people, these Edomites, are about to be underneath our feet, and they won't be able to do a goddamn thing about it. We're about to be immortal and, rule in righteousness for eternity, which is, we were going into with the earlier lesson, what we're looking forward to, not this society and the ways of it, but the things to come, the immortality, the dominion, the kingdom, for these old heavens and old earth to pass away, and the new heavens and the new earth to come, where it said, the former things shall not be remembered. This is a part of that exhortation.
It's like, if I could speak on it, like for example, you have Jake in this world, this current world, all right, they have guns and knives, but they have it for their own people. They scared to put their hands on the so-called white man, all right? So it's going to translate, the spirit going to be on Esau, where they're going to be afraid to put their hands on Jake, all right? So that's what's going to be like in the kingdom, all right? They ain't going to look us in the eye, they're going to have their head down low, because they're going to be afraid, all right? Because the Lord have raised up righteous men to push out their judgment, that indignation.
That's another part of preaching the word and exhortation, that what? Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, all these curses shall fall upon our enemies. Right. As the brother was just saying, everything Jake is going through right now, with his woman hating him, his kids hating him, the world hating him, and him having an evil eye towards his brother is going to be translated unto these heathens, right? Which we're seeing the beginning stages of right now. Esau's woman hates him and is dealing with Jake more and more. His children hate him. And as it says in Obadiah, I have made thee small amongst the heathens. Thou art greatly despised. the whole world is waking up to the fact that this Edomite, this so-called white man, especially in, the so-called Western world, Europe and America, the beast is what the main problem of all, the root cause of all the problems taking place on earth right now. And there's especially been a sharp scopeo on those little hats over there with what they're doing to those Palestinian Arabs, just being complete, bloodthirsty savages over there towards them. But what? That's just Esau showing his true nature, a bloody man. And what does it say in Ezekiel? Since thou was not hatest blood, blood shall pursue thee. But keep going in Ezekiel.
This is Ezekiel chapter 3. It says in verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not the warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
Read verse 19 out,
Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
Hey, that's the ultimate motivator for what? Us being instant in season and out of season preaching this word. What the Apostle Paul say, I'm roughly paraphrasing. Woe is to me if I preach not the gospel.
Yeah.
Because as it said in that Ezekiel chapter 3, if we don't stand upon our watch, rebuking and exhorting our people, being instant in season and out of season, what? That person, that Jake, is still going to get put to death for their wickedness, but for us being quiet, hey, their blood is going to be upon our hands. And the same thing goes for what? Preaching Jake the wrong doctrine out here. Telling them that what Esau isn't the so-called white man, that the MOTB isn't the C-hip, that after 1,000 years Esau's going to come back into power. Just all these bugged out doctrines. Hey, their blood is going to be upon your hands. But as it said in verse 19, if we preach the word and they listen not, we've taken their blood off of our hands and their blood's still going to be on them. So what? Again, woe is me if I, you brothers, who we preach not the gospel. Kind of. You got a precept? Kind of. You got it.
This basically what you're going to with teaching off doctrine. Right? The scriptures tell you that what only an evildoer giving heed to false lips. So men that's following after these, wayward doctrines out of 10 that cleave to wickedness, right? So this is Ezekiel 14:10. It says, and they shall bear the, I'm going to read 9. It says, and if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken the thing, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. It says, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto them. You got it.
Kind. And as the brother was saying, if that prophet has been deceived, I have deceived him. We know Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai sends out, these false prophets out here to help in that sifting. And, it would behoove you that if you've heard the words of the true prophets, which at this point we can clearly see that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's tabernacle is dealing with GMS, as well as the men that come in the spirit of GMS. Hey, hold on to that doctrine. Hey, don't get those itching ears and try to look at any other alternative out there. Especially in these times we're living in, where this word is about to get cut off. You should be getting as much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as you can right now. And then also what it say at the end. Read the end again, Baba Kasha.
Let me go back to it. This is Ezekiel 14 verse 10. It says, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him.
Hey, his blood, the blood of that false prophet, is going to be on his hands, as well as those that took heed under his doctrine, straight to the point. So, hey, being a false prophet out here, hey, especially if you know better, which a lot of y'all do know better, but what, y'all took the bag, and you better get right, because these doors of repentance are quickly closing. And as it says in Peter's, my judgment shall begin at the house of Israel. We're seeing a lot of these 2/3 Jakes out here get the business dealt to them. And it's only a matter of time before the Most High, starts touching these different camps out here, because they're moving just completely off right now, leading a lot of people to destruction, and you're ultimately going to be destroyed with them. And you know what a lot of it's for? You know, filthy lucre's sake, which we can clearly see. You know, a lot of y'all have that 501c3, and y'all are just moving like people that want to get clout, you know, want to get money, or you're getting funded by people. Hence why you're showing up on a lot of these popular podcasts and different shows like that. Which you got a quick one?
I got one too.
Just to back what you just said.
You got
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people.
And hey, we're getting on these false prophets right now, but you know, you Jakes out there have a you know, what's that word? You have a your culpability with it as well, because you're taking heed to those words. And whenever these men go off in the doctrine, you've got brothers doing multiple videos, cutting it, going into the scriptures, saying exactly what it is and exactly what it's not, which is what they're preaching. But what? A lot of y'all, because you're in your feelings and you like the way the man delivers that message, you like that wine he's getting you drunk off of, you know, you want to stick with it. I was watching, you know, I see comments, you know, I like to read the comments on brothers' videos where, you know, they're going in on somebody, and you'll always have that one bird brain Jake that says, well, he ain't doing anything wrong. He trying to bring the nation together. Hey, it ain't about bringing the nation together right now. That's for the kingdom. I think it says it in Micah or Amos, can 2 and 2 walk together, except they be agreed. We're in a time of sifting and separation right now. What did Yahushua say? Think not that I've come to bring peace, but a sword, and you know, to bring division. That's what it's all about right now. Hence why there is an elect remnant. For you to be a remnant and an elect, that means you've been picked out of a mass of things.
Yeah, but our people like to hear smooth words. So the idea of bringing Israel all together, that appeals to people that aren't in the spirit. All right, if you're in the spirit of this world, if you're in the spirit of the black community, if you're in the spirit of black unity, then all of those false doctrines appeal to you. But once you read the scriptures, like, man, the Lord's only dealing with the elect. Right? The Lord has a name. His name matters. His name's supposed to be praised. Those that believe in his name are supposed to separate themselves from everybody else. Then you look at these other camps, it's like, man, this is off.
Hey, just to back you up, hey, going back to that 2 Timothy 4, we read verse 2 where it's talking about preaching the word, being instant in season and out of season. And here's the main reason why. This is verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts, what the brothers were just saying, you know, it makes them feel good that they don't have to get on the so-called black woman. It makes them feel good that they can still call themselves black, you know, get a lining, go to the cookout, you know, dreadlocks, mix hip hop with the truth, be a gangster sheep. That appeals to Jake's flesh. But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and be turned unto fables. What's a fable that's been pushed right now? The hell doctrine. You know, we just went over that, you know, with the brothers, you know, breaking that down, showing that there is no other dimension where Hellboy is down there with the Snickers, you know, backhanding you. That, you know, when you die, everybody, whether you were wicked or righteous, you go to the third heaven, the spirit world, for 3 to 4 generations. Then you come back down and live out your judgment on earth.
And that doctrine completely goes against the creation. It says that the Lord created the earth, but he created the heavens. So he created the layers, right? His realm where he abide, right? It didn't say nothing about him creating a place where you go and your soul is tormented for eternity. That's not biblical.
And if you would think that was the case in Genesis 1, you would have told Adam that, like, look, if you mess up, you're gonna go to hell. Just a fable, which goes back to what? Greek, Roman, pagan fables of the past. But hey, our people, and another thing too, you know, Jake doesn't want to get out of that Christian, you know, eating a catfish, you know, dinner plate spirit. So they still want to believe in these false things that they've been taught, you know, brought up. But, you know, those false teachers that teach those things are going to go down, and you that have itching ears for it are going to go down with them as well. But
this is 2 Peter 2:1. It says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who probably shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
We could read the whole chapter, but for the sake of time, we're going to read the first couple of verses. But as it says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. So what? That right there cuts that whole, all Israel's supposed to come together and be in unity. Because how are you going to be united with somebody that's clearly going off? Whether they're going off through the spiritual demon Satan or his physical counterpart Esau is giving them the bag to make you go off.
And what they say is the bag changes everything. You change the name of the Lord, all right? Start calling on other names, and you start switching up the doctrine.
Yeah, gift destroys the heart.
Yes, sir. I got a precept.
We're going to keep going in that.
Go ahead.
Even who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, the hell doctrine, after 1,000 years, like the kingdom of the planet of the apes. Esau's going to come back into power and rule. Esau isn't the white man. There aren't nuclear missiles, but it's volcanoes. The C-HIP or the MOTB is what dealing with white women. Just all this madness they bring about and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Read the verse 3 out of
If I could add to on that word, heresies, when you go into it, goes back to the Greek word haresia. It means the body of men fall in their own sins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So these men are this is coming from emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you go into Galatians, it says, "Let him be accursed if he preach any other gospel." You know what I'm saying? So it's a penalty for preaching something that's outside of the it's profane.
And when you watch the old biblical movies, like say with the Spanish Inquisition or the witch hunts, whenever somebody was convicted of heresy, what they call them, a heretic, and a heretic got what? Put to death all the time. And it's going to be no different with these modern day heretics out here. Kind of
real quick. The 2 Ezra 15:1, I'm going to go to 3. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." That's what we're doing. The same was the testimony of Yahushua, which these things are what's coming. That's prophecy. We said it before it happened. And it says, "Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." It's the point.
And making them plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it.
It says, "And fear not the imaginations against thee." So as we're pushing out this word, we shouldn't care about what people think about us. How they feel about us. If they walk past camp, they talk, they laugh, they scoff, maybe even a comment. The Lord said, don't even care about that. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." So even if not just they talk about us, but even if they don't believe, bro, we shouldn't care. At the end of the day, it is what it is. We just pushing out the message. If they don't believe, that's on them. We doing enough. We got enough trying to save our own selves, man, which we can't even do that. We just got to hope. You see? But again, these people don't got to believe what we're saying. You know how many people didn't believe? No. And look, he was prophesying way longer than we prophesying right now. It was a time when it was like 100 years past. They're like, bro, you said the same shit 100 years ago. At times you feel like, I did a lesson on that already. I gotta find another lesson. Bro, Noah talked about the same thing for 120 some years. He did one lesson. He did the same lesson. I talked about rain falling from the sky. You know how repetitive he sounded? It was every day too. And I don't know if he probably took break, today's Sunday, he probably took Sundays off. But the point is, Noah talked about the same thing. People, I'm sure, it was niggas back then. I'm sure they scoffed at him. They laughed at him, right? Probably doing all type of shit, but guess what? Eventually, one day came when that day was different. Rain came. So that's all we saying, bro. No, I don't, bro. None of us shouldn't care at all if people don't believe us. We shouldn't be embarrassed to say we're looking forward to a so-called dark-skinned man coming out the sky on a UFO to beam us up. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Missiles falling, the Godzilla real. Yeah, we believe. That's what we believe in, man. We ain't putting no gun on nobody here to believe in. If you don't want to, then we'll see, because it's the point. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee."
You mind if I get that word incredulity real quick? And in the dictionary definition, it says inability or unwillingness to believe, doubt, skepticism, disbelief. And what's it saying? Romans 3:3-4. For what if some did not believe? Does their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Let every man be a liar, and every word of the Most High be true.
I got a little more, but this is the point why we shouldn't worry. It says, verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. We gonna see who get the last laugh at the end of the day. It's all good. You know, that's said in a couple of scriptures. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. 1 Peter 1 said that the trial of our faith is being tested, but it's gonna be shown to be gold once the Lord comes. Once all these things happen, we gonna be found out to be right, man. What you got?
Kind. And just to back that brother up, you know, that 2 Peter chapter 9, which goes into, you know, the ultimate end for those, you know, amongst our people that don't want to take heed to the word and that scoff at the word, that are incredulous towards the word. And you can start at verse 9, read down to verse 12 about the
Second Peter's.
Second Ezra chapter 9. Kind.
Yeah.
I got it right here. Come watch the paper.
It says Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 2.
9. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 9, and you can read down to 12. Kind.
All right. This Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that has cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment.
Then shall they be in pitiful case. We're about to see all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you black people, you Mexican people, you Native American people that don't want to take heed to this word, fail horribly. And we already saw how badly you failed during 2019 to 2021 when you got that juice. You threw out here. Eve is failing horribly. Like besides Esau, she's like the public enemy #1 out here with a lot of these channels, you know, telling men just to stay away from this demon. And our people, what? This money they put their faith in, it's inflating, and it's gonna hyperinflate and eventually crash. Your jobs, you got Jake working 2 to 3 jobs and not making enough money. These idols, you know, these celebrities you put your faith in, they're falling apart. This whole false world that Esau created for you is falling apart all around you. And you're what's that saying? You're grasping at straws. Like you're trying to grab something that's quickly evaporating while you have the men of the Lord out here preaching this word to you, telling you that there's a way out, but you don't want to take heed to it. And as about to say,
right? Because I forget the name of the YouTube channel, but it has a YouTube channel. It posts nothing but videos of, you know, Eve getting put to death massively. It don't say nothing about, you know, the men getting put to death. It's always about how the men have the spirit of vengeance on their way, putting the women to death. All right.
Hey, if I could say, you know, looking at that in the spirit, you've been having, because a lot of men just ain't dealing with Eve. That what Eve's had to resort to getting bottom shelf brads, as they call it. A lot of these dusty Edomite men, and what a lot of them are putting them to death.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at that in the spirit, we know that Eve represents the church. Our people that want to still cling unto Esau, what's going to happen? He's going to put you to death, and you know this man that you're looking for as your salvation is really going to be your damnation.
This is back in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 11. It says, "And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it."
Hey, them that have loathed my law, while yet a place of liberty was open unto them. While we can still this video is live right now, that place of liberty is still open to you. The men of the Lord are still on the highways and byways, but what? Those doors, you know, those doors of mercy and liberty are quickly closing. We know about that anti-semantics bill they just passed, to where, you know, one of the definitions says, you know, if you say certain things in the New Testament, that's anti-semantics. So what? An outlaw of the Bible and those that preach it. So this word is quickly, you know, coming to an end. But with us constantly standing upon our watch, preaching unto our people, what the majority of you still don't want to take heed to it, but load that law and cast it behind you. And you know, you got liberty right again. You can freely hear the word. You have a job to afford internet, to get an internet connection to watch these videos. You can still afford gas to drive your ass down to a camp and listen. You have all the, you know, these amenities that the Most High has afforded to you to get the word available, but you're just spending it to what? Go about your daily useless lives. Keep going on.
Verse 12 in 2 Edwards chapter 9 and verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain.
And not death by cotton candy, not death by sexy red, death by pain, which I mean, that's a death by pain in itself, death by sexy red. Death by pain, and as it says in Isaiah, I shall bring their, fears upon them. A lot of the things that you fear, the Most High is going to use those very same things to put you to death by pain for it.
Like the movie Bird Box.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were seeing apparitions and visions, and it was their worstest dreams or whatever they fathomed or whatever they feared. They seen it, and ultimately that put them to death. It caused them to have madness of the mind, where it was walking in front of cars or putting themselves to death.
Walking like a car's on fire, and they go sit in the fire and just burn. That's a spirit of vengeance upon them for you to kill yourself. But at the same time, what you have in Bird Box, those that could look at the visions and they loved the visions. They wanted to show everybody else the message, but not everybody could get the message. And those that couldn't get it, get put to death for it.
That's right.
Hey, we are in these times right now. Those that have their spiritual eyes and ears open to get this word, and those that don't. And as it says in that Isaiah 6, the prophet Isaiah was asking, but when shall be the end of these things? He said, when the land is laid desolate and destroyed. Pretty much, when these judgments come and they put to death, that's when they're going to get it, when they're reborn in the kingdom righteous.
God, right.
That was it. God.
Who had a precept?
Yeah, one. Oh, well, actually, let's,
yeah, I did.
What'd you have?
Ezekiel 33.
Ezekiel 33. We'll get that Ezekiel 33.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 33. I'll start at the top. It says, again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, the Israelites, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people.
Hey, what does it say in Ezekiel 21? A sword, a sharp sword is sharpened, that it may be given into the furbished and glittering, that it may be given into the hand of the slayer to slay my people. That's Esau. What? The devil coming down in great wrath in Revelation 12, verse 12, which we can see he's about to come down in great wrath. You've got the avian sneeze out here, which it remains to be seen what happens with that. You got World War III fomenting, the collapse of this economy to bring about that digital system, cyber attacks. Esau is putting everything in place to handle business on you, Jakes. And what? We see that sword coming, and what the true men of the Lord, the true watchmen, are standing upon their watch, blowing that trumpet.
And that's the crazy thing about it. They finna down here and not down here in Texas, but in the South, all right, over there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they finna implement the first unmanned convenience store where you can drive up there and you got to use a QR code for the buy like products like food, and it's not gonna have nobody working in there. Why are they doing that down here in the South? All right, they ain't started over there and doing it over there like in California and New York. They doing it down here in the South. All right, so that's a telltale, a sign, a token that they're ushering what? The MOTB.
And what else they got? You can go to your Amazon right now, and I'm talking to you on the other side of the camera. Go to your local Amazon, and when you go to checkout, they got that Amazon One payment system where on the little screen it literally shows a hand going over there, and it scans your palm for your payments. The infrastructure, as the brother was saying, the infrastructure is getting set up for that MOTB to be implemented. That sword is getting sharpened, and the watchmen are warning you about it. But whether you take heed or not, that's what the words speak.
Yeah, and that Ezekiel you quote, I believe in that verse, that's Ezekiel 21 you quote, right?
God.
Verse, and that verse say that shall we then make murder.
Straight to the point.
Okay. This verse 4, it says, I'll read 3 again. It says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow up the trumpet and warn the people. And whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Hey, that's reiterating that Ezekiel chapter 3 that the brother brought out earlier. The watchman is blowing his trumpet, And if you don't hear the message, hey, that's on your ass. Just like in the ancient world, if an enemy was coming in and the watchman was blowing the trumpet, but you were like, man, fuck all that. I'm going back to sleep. Then the next moment you wake up, your door gets kicked in, and some sweaty, Sumerian in bronze armor is, doing stuff to you and your family, and putting that blade in you. That's exactly what we're doing right now, warning you that, again, that sword is getting furbished, but hey, for the majority of our people out there, they're not going to take heed to the word, and they're going to get that sword action.
Why? Because they believe in wayward doctrine, all right? They believing on false prophets, telling them like Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. The MOTB is not the C-hip, all right? So they're believing on those doctrines, and eventually it's going to be too late, all right? That's going to usher in the famine of the word, all right? They're going to be crying out for wine in the streets, which is this doctrine, to seek answers, but they're not going to get it, all right? So you have the prophets, the men of the Lord, that's telling you these things right now, all right? Just like when Noah prophesied. He prophesied for 100 years, 120 years precise, all right? They didn't believe him until that rain came, because it never rained in this time. The same thing. We're telling you Jacob's trouble is going to happen. We're telling you the sea-hip is going to happen. Thus says the Bible.
Hey, what Yahushua tell the Pharisees and those Jakes? Hey, you can see that it's going to rain. Say, oh, it's about to rain, or the weather, or the clouds are getting heavy. But can you not discern the signs of the times?
Yeah.
The only signs that are being sent to you right now is the sign of Jonah, which is what? The sign of the prophets out there blowing that spiritual trumpet, letting you know what it is. And you're not taking heed to it. You're being rocked to sleep by these false doctrines. And when you drink wine, what happens? You get sleepy. You want to go to sleep. Hey, you're drinking that wine, that spiritual wine, and you're comfortably asleep in your ignorance.
It says, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
God. You were going to keep going down?
Mm-hmm.
God. Also, after you get what you want to get, definitely jump to verse 30. After 33. It's another one of you that Jake got the chapter demon on and want to read that whole chapter. Brothers are saying, hey, I got a precept, Ezekiel 35, I'm going to read verses 1 to 20.
Yeah.
1 to 20?
Yeah, the point is in 19, I'm going to start at the top. But it says, but if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the trumpet come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
And like we were saying earlier, that can come from just not preaching the word or preaching false doctrine.
Yeah.
Because what's it saying, Corinthians, I think 1 Corinthians 14, if you blow the trumpet with an uncertain sound, how can they know what that warning is? Do they know? Do they know if it's a trumpet to welcome the king back in? Do they know if it's a trumpet sound to know that enemies are at the gate? You got to blow that certain trumpet sound to let the people know what is coming.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you have a lot of people that are reading from the same book we're reading from. They have garments, they have fringes. They're telling you that you're so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are Israelites. They're telling you America's Babylon, but they're still preaching some other doctrine. They're still preaching about black Jesus. They're still preaching about God gathering all Israel. They're still preaching about black marriage and black family and all this nonsense. That's an uncertain sound. We're preaching the war drums. World War III has started already. That's very important to know.
Yeah,
I got a precept.
got a little, bro, technical.
Nah, you good. You good.
But yeah, read you gonna read verse 7? Okay. You can get that verse 7 and we got your precept.
You got one up?
Okay.
This verse 7, it says, so thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
Straight to the point. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. Again, our whole purpose being to be the prophets, watching current events and filtering it through the scriptures to blow that correct trumpet sound to warn the people. And whether you hear or forbear, that's on you. But we've gotten the blood off of our hands. And we're going to continue doing this until we can't preach this word anymore. Which I don't think I'm just speaking for myself. Brothers are waiting for that day, like a hastening the day.
Like I told you so.
That because we know that once this word stops going out, then these prophecies are going to get fast tracked towards the end, towards our salvation. Because you got it.
If I say this, the only reason that this is being prolonged is to seal the elect. Okay, when you read Revelation the 7th chapter, the Most High is holding back the winds of destruction so that the name of the Lord can be sealed among the 144,000. So once the elect has the name, they have the doctrine. Like the brother just said, the prophecies aren't going to tarry anymore. There's no need to keep America going. There's no need. We have Jake asking us how long is Jacob's trouble going to be. There's no need for Jacob's trouble to last for decades. The Most High has already sealed his elect. He wants to bring us. He said, "It's my good pleasure to give you all the kingdom."
Hey, what does prophecy mean? To say before. When it's actually happening, then you're not saying it anymore. You're not saying it before because you're in the midst of it. So there's no need to say the word. So that means what? So brother was going into, the elect have been sealed. So then these final prophecies can come to their fulfillment. And we can see that, if they haven't been sealed already, that they're damn near close to it. Because when you're hearing about them talking about the C hit in mainstream media, you know that we're at the door, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jake thinking they're going to prophesy during Jacob's trouble. They're going to prophesy in the kingdom. Jake on the comment board, like just waiting for that perfect moment to be a prophet. Like the brother just said, prophet means to say before. All right, faith is the evidence of things not seen. So once you see it, it doesn't take any faith to prophesy Jacob's trouble during Jacob's trouble. We're doing that now. We see it far off. We're the scriptures call a prophet seers. We see these things because we read them in the scriptures. We don't have to have an actual NATO troop in front of us breaking into our house for us to believe it. It's 3 seconds later, okay, this is gonna happen.
Leaving a size 11 foot boot print on your face. We don't need that, and Lord willing, we don't get that. That's why we're standing upon our watch, warning Israel right now, so we can get the blood off of our hands. But
the bad guy brought us up is in the beginning, the Lord, he prepared us, mentally, right, to see these things. So we're in a time where you're gonna have false prophets, all right, that's gonna come up and be like, hey, thus says the Lord, all right, but they're not coming in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai.
And you can break it down too.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, wherefore he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. All right, and you have certain camps, all right, certain guys that's coming in the name that's not Yahweh Shema Shai, and they have what Israelites that's going and the doctrine fit them. All right, so they calling on Christ, all right, in different other names and changing up the names and the doctrine. It says, verse 3, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet. All right, so we telling you, we giving you warning, like, look, his name is not Christ. All right, you know who they even call God, who they even call Jesus is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, it says, or that dream of dreams, telling you that the sea hill is not the sea hill. All right, telling you that Jacob's trouble. All right, it's not going to be Jacob's trouble because they saying they have a vision or they had a dream that it's not going to happen. It's false. It says, the Lord Yahweh, your power proves you to know whether ye love the Lord or Yahweh with all your heart and with all your soul. So we have to what? We have to continue in this thing. We have to trust in the Lord. All right, we have to trust in these prophecies because they're going to come to pass, and we have to trust in the doctrine. All right, we got it, brother.
Kind. And even Jakes that do use the name Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, they're still preaching a different. They're using the name, but they're not preaching the ways that you're supposed to follow of them. You got Jakes out there preaching those names, but now they're saying all heathens can be saved. Mm-hmm. You're preaching another Yahweh Shai. You're preaching a chocolate-covered Cesare Borgia. What do you got, the Jeremiah? Okay.
You can start at 13.
Kind.
Jeremiah.
And you can read down to 16, Bible Shai.
14 and 13. It says, then said I, Yahweh power, behold, the prophet said to them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine. but I will give you assured peace in this place.
As the brother was just saying, you know, you got some Jakes out here that saying Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. Jacob's trouble is gay. Even though I'll give it to him because we don't bear false witness over here. You had Nate for a while saying, look, Jacob's trouble's not going to happen. You know, it's going to be peaches and cream. Completely butchered Matthew 24 when it says they're going to be married and given in marriage. That's what he was saying Jacob was going to go through during Jacob's trouble. Or even that Benjamite Christian, the Christian that's not even in the truth, had to say, what are you talking about? Like,
That don't mean that.
that don't mean that. Keep going on.
Continuing on, verse 14, it says, Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught in the deceit of their hearts.
Straight to the point. As I think you brought it out earlier, the Most High putting that spirit of falsehood on these false prophets out here. The Most High, didn't send them to preach the right word. He sent them with a lying spirit, which you can read about in that Second Kings. We don't have to get it because that's another one where it's like we got to get the whole beat of that matter. But just to give you a paraphrase, you had the king of Judah and the king of Israel going to war, and the king of Judah wanted to get the prophets to say, are we going to win this war? So they got the prophets. And they showed the council in heaven where the Most High had the right-handed angels and the left-handed angels giving him counsel. And the Most High, wanted the king of Israel to die in that battle. So an angel came forth and said, "I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." And the Most High said, "Go and do it." So what? The Most High sends these lying spirits out here to send these false prophets to sift those chaff, the wicked of our people that He doesn't want, leading you astray. And again, that remnant is a very small number. And we can see a lot of jakes out here with fringes, with beards, women with dusty head wraps, calling on the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, but not speaking the words which were prescribed in these scriptures.
And the Most High does that to try our faith, right? When you have all of these false prophets, they have a certain spirit or energy. When you look at ISUPK, for example, they have the pro-black militant theme. You look at IUIC, they have the frat brother, like goody two shoes, good family man image. They don't have a particular spirit that attracts Jake that's still in the world, that doesn't want to come out of Babylon. Sakari, they got the real nigga spirit on them.
The San Andreas prophets.
Yeah, just being a street hoodlum / prophet. All of these different false camps, they have a certain spirit that's of the world, and it attracts Jake that knows that they're Israel, but still wants to cleave into the ways of Babylon. And the Most High set that up, man. You look at Great Millstone, brothers have different spirits, different personalities. There's no, we don't all try to sound like one particular elder or apostle. We just have the truth.
The only thing that sounds the same is the doctrine.
Huh. You got Jakes and camps. They all sound like the head of the camp. That shit is off, man. That's weird.
They wearing a button shirt with the buttons all the way up to their neck, and in the thumbnail they got both their hands together.
You probably not a man of the Lord. You putting up a polo all the way to
and you're playing a damn kazoo on the video.
You got it out.
Continue on, verse 15, Jeremiah 14:15, it says, Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
Hey, in that I think 2 Kings 22, what? You shall go to this battle and prevail over your enemies. You shall not see death or the sword. But what is saying that verse? By sword and death and famine, shall you be taken out, shall you be judged.
And when he said to Micah, he was like, man, don't bring Micah in. He always prophesying to be bad. People, they don't want to hear, the truth. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying. That I think Isaiah 30 was like, prophesy not unto us harsh things, but prophesy unto us the smooth things that say to the seers, see not and prophesy not before us. Jake as our elder brother Yakana in New Orleans always says, Jake wants the truth packaged just how he wants it. He wants the right Christmas wrapping. Jake wants that shiny metallic green, wrapping on it. He wants the big yellow bow. And when Jake opens it, he wants confetti to pop out of the box.
Oh, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
He wants it to be like Pulp Fiction when they open that suitcase and a light went on their face. That's not how this truth. The truth is going to come to you how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua wants it to come to you. And what are we prophesied to do? Prophesying rough garments. Hey, as it says in 1 Corinthians, what? The Most High chose the foolish things of the world, the things that men despise, to confound and take down the things that are. Not many wise men, not many great men, not many rich men of this world's knowledge are in the truth prophesying this word. The Most High took Jakes from all walks of life. Jakes you would have never thought in the lowest hoods, just somebody you would never think to be a holy person, and to make them a man of the Lord, cutting professors, cutting mayors, cutting biblical scholars, and making them look like what they are, fools.
Yeah, so that he can get the glory. All right. If the Most High was to take LeBron James and Cornell West and all these niggas and make them prophets, then he wouldn't get the glory. You would look at these so-called great men and say, "Oh, look at that guy. He has the truth." So the Most High gave his truth to, the underdog, the person that doesn't have esteem in this world, because we don't want this world to continue.
And people in their spirit, know that the underdog is always the right person, because what do people love? An underdog story.
Yeah.
In people's spirits, they like the best movies are the ones where you've got the undefeated champ. He's always cocky. He's an asshole. You think he's never going to lose. But then the story of the underdog is the best part of the movie, because it shows the process of him going to defeat the undisputed champ and beat the undisputed champ, and everybody cheers and has a good time with it.
Yeah. The story of David and Goliath, which actually happened, that plays out. That the underdog story. Someone that they're seemingly harmless, but they're armed with faith. All right, that's the story of David and Goliath. Is the story of the 144,000. All right, we don't have any nuclear technology. We don't have drones,
Weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, weapons. We don't have any of that. We're armed with this word, the word of Yahweh Shai, and this rock is going to take down Goliath.
And I know where you were going with that. David took down Goliath with a rock. Hey, what are we taking down this modern day Goliath with? That cornerstone, Yahushua, this great millstone that's going to hit the feet of that statue and take it all down. But you got that verse 16, and then you can get your precept. Wait, you had it first?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can get your precept.
Jeremiah 14 and 16 says, "And the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them. Their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them."
And then shall they know it after death by pain. You jakes that don't want to take heed to this word, but you're using this time of liberty to take heed to these false prophets out here. You're going to die by famine. You're going to die by sword, pestilence, the plague, martial law. You're going to see your wives ravished, your children dashed against the stones. Your worst fears and horrors are going to take place in 4D right before your very eyes, and the cherry on top is going to be you getting put to death. And it's as simple as that.
Like I said in Isaiah, when it says, I should choose that delusion.
We quoted that one earlier.
Yeah.
We might have to, if we get there, we get there. But yeah, as the brother was saying, the Most High is going to choose your strong delusions to get you. If you're afraid of dogs and you're a wicked nigga out there, expect a pack of dogs to, eat your intestines out of your stomach.
That's what he said. He said, "I appointed over them 4 kinds of dogs to tell."
Hey, it also it specifically says in the scriptures that animals are gonna get what's it saying, Sirach 39, the teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, spirits created for vengeance. And that's another thing too. The Vatican's coming out with those guidelines on supernatural activity. You're gonna have spiritual entities materialize into our plane and put people to death. And like with what was his name? Heliodorus. When he was coming to take the money from the temple on behalf of Seleucus IV, those angels materialized, beat the dog shit out of him,
Beat him naked.
and then they told him, look, the only reason we didn't kill your ass is because the high priest told us not to do it. And then afterwards, Heliodorus told the king, why didn't you come back with the money? I got my ass, roughly paraphrased, I got my ass beat, but I will say this, if you have anybody you want to get put to death, go send them to Jerusalem.
Let me bring out this precept. This Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 20. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. All right, and that's we're going into the false prophets. All right, speaking in the what? Speaking in the call. You said they calling on the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, but the doctrine not adding up. All right, so the Lord is eventually the Lord is going to start putting those false prophets to death. All right, and He's going to put it on camera for all Israel to see and witness. All right, so that's the time that we're coming in. You got it, bro.
And we got a little example of that with what? Around October 7th, you had that gutter rat go drive, I think drove a car, or did something, made a bomb threat to a school at ISUPK. And then later on, there was another person that drove their car at a group of Jakes. We don't know if it was IUIC, but it said a group of black men in purple talking about Israel. A lady drove her car on the street corner and tried to hit them. That's just the appetizer, just backing up what the brother said, the judgments that's going to come to you false prophets. And not only y'all going to get put to death, but with the precepts we've been getting, what? Those that believe on that false testimony are going to get put to death with them.
Yeah. Which only makes sense because the scripture says that those that hear the prophets and help the prophets will receive a prophet's reward. You don't have to be a prophet to receive a prophet's reward, right? So if you're hearkening on the false prophets, when they get destroyed, it only makes sense that you would get the same judgment as them. You're following a false prophet. The Most High hates them. He's going to destroy them. He's going to destroy you too.
Both shall fall into a pit.
God.
You got your precept. You can break it down too.
This is easy. Just to back up the Jeremiah 14 and 14, because it was speaking on, it says they prophesy unto you a false vision and divination. So this is Ezekiel 13. I'm going to start from 5. It says, ye have not gone unto the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. So they did nothing to help the nation. 6, it says, they have...
If I could, just real quick, I believe it was in one of the parables Yahushua said, where there is no hedge, the garden or the field is spoiled. If you don't have a hedge or a gate set up, around your what the things that are, your possessions or the things that you take value in is going to get spoiled by the thief. And what the grape garden, the Most High set that hedge over the cluster of His grapes, the elect, so they're not taken. But as for you wild grapes out there that don't have a hedge around you, you're going to be taken and put in that great wine press of destruction.
It's like a woman that's left to herself is destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
She got no head, she taken,
To back that brother up, what he said, read that again.
This is Jeremiah, that's like another one. Ezekiel 13 and 5. It says, ye have not gone up into the gaps.
Right there, it said up into the gaps. This is Amos 9 and 11. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breaches thereof. All right, so that's what you're going into. All right, you have the false prophets. They're not what closing up the breaches. All right, the breach is something that's like a little gap or something that's been breached where you can go in. All right, so that's what the false prophets are doing. They're not closing up the breaches. They're just bringing leading the sheep to a slaughter.
Hey, in 300, that little sheep path that trader told the Persians about. That's how the Spartans fell.
Yes.
They had a breach, a gap in their walls. But as the brother brought out in that Amos, the true prophets are filling up those gaps. They're raising up the tabernacles of the house of David to make it this impenetrable fortress that can't be broken into. This unstoppable temple.
Like the wall in Jerusalem. All right, because it was hard to get up in there, but it had a breach. The Lord allowed, all right, for the Babylonians to go in there, and take Jerusalem down. It says, and I will raise
the Romans as well.
Yeah.
They made those siege towers to get in there.
It says, and I will raise up the ruins, and I will build as in the days of old. All right, so you see the Lord is raising up His men. All right, He said, I will give you passion according to my heart. All right, so the Lord is raising men up, all right, to close up the breaches, the elect, to close up the breaches, so to usher in the kingdom of heaven. All right.
And what does it say about the elect? Y'all are each a lively stone,
yes,
a part of this third spiritual temple getting built.
That's right.
And this temple is not going to, be destroyed like the previous temple. It'll be an unstoppable temple.
That's right. You got it, brother.
Continue on, verse 6, it says, they have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, the Lord said. It says the Lord had not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they will confirm the word. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what? Them being false prophets, you know what I'm saying? And then lying in the Lord's name, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It says, have you not seen a vain vision? And
It
has
said, it's like it said, make for us to confirm it.
All
All right, you know, the Bishop Nathan, when they teach, they'll say something like, Con? So the class like, Con.
Yeah.
Like, right, y'all don't believe it? Right.
He's a con man.
The real con man.
Verse 7 says, have you not seen a vain vision? And have you not spoken a lying divination? Whereas she said, the Lord said this, like it says, albeit I have not spoken. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies. Therefore, behold, I am against you, said Yahweh power. Also, it's a penalty for speaking out of term and speaking falsely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because when you go to what is that? James, it says, preach this and grab the word, which is able to save our soul. So Jake has to preach that. You know what I'm saying? On doctrine, you know, for his soul to be saved. You know.
I mean, they just speaking of their own belly, right?
Going back to what that second piece that we brought out earlier, you know, that those damnable heresies,
Con.
you know, they received what swift damnation, you know. But that was all I remember.
Con. Did was brother holding
You have one over there,
I
brother?
got one.
Oh, con. Yeah.
It's like Ezekiel 12. Because the point is, you know, it's going to come a point in time where these, you know, false prophets won't have anything to say. The Lord won't, you know, have the prophecies put out in their face. And that's what we come into, because we're in an era to where men can say anything. They can do response videos, you know, call us bums, talk this shit. The same thing happened in the scriptures. There was a time when Korah, Dathan, and Abiram was able to talk this shit. And the Lord proved who he was dealing with. It always happened throughout our nation, so we come into the time of that the Lord about to allow these prophets to play out, and then what people will be able to say. Real quick is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 21. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel? Saying, the days are prolonged and every vision felleth. And that's how people feel. When we talk about the MOTV coming, you know, digital currency, digital IDs, Esau coming in like a flood, people don't think that's going to be in our lifetime. Fucking even Leviathan coming out. People don't consider that. Chariots, UFOs, the Son of God come and stand on a UFO. It seems far-fetched to happen now. You know? So the Lord asked him, so Ezekiel, what is this? Or to the prophets, what Jake out there saying? That these things are going to come to pass. And it says, tell them therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease. And they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision, the effect is about to play out. We're just going to be posting on YouTube forever. Brothers should be ready to stop going to the highways and hedges, although it sounds crazy. What you want to do the work? No. The quicker we stop going to the highways and hedges, the quicker we stop posting on YouTube, the quicker we can go to the next phase of prophecy. That's it. We ain't trying to be doing this forever. We're trying to go to the next phase. So once that next phase comes, that's the effect of every vision. The things will actually be playing out. We mentioned Habakkuk 2 earlier. They're going to start speaking, which means how it's going to speak. The Lord will give us tangible proof. You can look out to the world. When the MOTV be mandated, Bishop Nathan ain't going to be able to say it's sin. It's going to be in your face. When Jacob's trouble come, Captain Katazak from ISUBK ain't going to be able to say Jacob's trouble is gay. He going to be fearing for his life. Once these things actually come to pass, nobody will be able to say nothing. That's what the Lord's saying. It says, tell them therefore, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. A time coming when men ain't going to be able to just say what they want to. It's going to be what the prophet said, and that's it. No more response videos, no more Friday to Saturday classes, lessons. All that's going to be done with. You would either have to agree or get judged. I'm going to finish it up. It says, for I am Yahweh, and I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, said Yahweh. And this is different because the Lord been having prophets say the word, but we know how it's about to happen. Ain't no time in history that all these things been happening at once. Because you have people say, It's been earthquakes in diverse places. It's been famines. It's been uproars of the people. That's true. But it's never been all those things at the same time as World War III being talked about. Missiles about to be shut off. It's never been all that at the same time. The digital currency about to come out. The mark of the beast. And it's never been none of that at the same time Esau been exposed. Never been none of that at the same time the nation of Israel been waking up. All the stuff has been brought out. So guess what? We ain't about to be talking forever. It's about to happen.
That's a beautiful point. All of the end time prophecies are coinciding right now at the same time. That's how you know that we're at the end. You know, you look at just the technology for the mark of the beast alone, that wasn't possible 20 years ago. That's why it took so long for Esau, really it's the Lord's timetable, but it took so long for Esau to mandate these things because it takes a huge infrastructure for you to take millions of transactions a minute. We're talking about every 60 seconds you have a person buying this, buying that. It took them years to get the credit cards to work. So how much more, just a chip. This is the only time in history that this man actually has the technology to cause it all, small and great, to have to receive that mark. So we know what to end.
And to back you up, the Most High had to acclimate people to the technology. Yeah. You can't just go from $1 straight to a C-hip in your hand.
Right.
Esau, the Lord had to use gradualism to, move us from money, credit cards, debit cards, and not just that. Stick the card in. Now you can tap the card.
Yep.
Now there's contactless payment, app payments on the phone where you scan it. Now we got Amazon One with your hand. Apple Watches. Now we're coming to the final conclusion of things.
Yeah, we're clearly at the end.
But
I have appreciated
That's it. We might just be doing this forever. Like, we might just be talking about. The Lord said when I say the word, it's gonna come to pass. Bro, you know how long we've been saying this? The apostles, the elders, the bishops. Now what's happening? We ain't got too much to talk about. It ain't too much to talk about. Bro, we got a few, Apostle Paul said in 2 Thessalonians that they shall not come except what? And what? The man is sent to reveal. This is the thing. He gave us two things in their lifetime. We can scratch both of them off the list. We fell away, now we back, according to Baruch in our captivity. The man is sent being revealed. Scratch that off. In our lifetime, we can say the same thing. That day of Yahweh shall not come except the MOTV be mandated and World War III happened. The point is, that's it. Everything else gonna happen in the midst of those two. That's it. All we need is an event. That event go kickstart Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble gonna make room for the MOTB, and all that chaos going on. Missiles gonna be shut off. That's fucking it. That's it. You got it. All right.
Get out of here.
we got an hour.
The brother got a precept.
If any other brothers don't have a precept, wind it off on y'all's. But just to back you up, when you read further down to Thessalonians, after it says the man of sin, the son of perdition being revealed, what does it say? Who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the prophets, and then you got the spirit of his mouth, the prophets consuming him, revealing who he is, waking up the elect. And then what's the final part? With the brightness of his coming, Yahweh making his second coming to put that final nail in the coffin of his rulership. So as the brother was saying, everything's lining up right on time, and hey, we're at the end. We're at the end of these times, and we're coming into our times.
Real quick, this is a precept of brother. This is Micah 3:6. It says, therefore, night shall be unto you. Oh, let me go up. I'm going to read 6. It says, therefore, night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision. It says, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. It says, then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of the Most High.
Hey, the vision of the true prophets being made dark, the fame of the word, and then these false prophets didn't even have the truth anyway. So they won't have anything to say in that day. They're going to be ashamed of those words because what? They're going to be, go through tribulation for it. They're going to get judged for it. The brother Bakar Math had a dream, a couple of weeks ago where he said Nate's congregation, they beat the piss out of him. You're going to see a lot of these. And why'd they get mad?
They was lied to.
And when Jake gets lied to, his money's been taken, his time's been taken, and now he sees his life's about to be taken.
Yes.
The person who led him astray, Jake gonna become a wild bull, Jake gonna break through that net that the young bull caught in and just rip shit.
Yeah, because like the apostles, they always bring out when all these prophecies, all right, and especially when that seal be mandated, all right, what you gonna say then, Jake? How are you gonna explain yourself? You leading people astray. But when all this is said and done, what are you going to say when it comes to pass? You're not gonna have nothing to say, like the precept the brother just read.
Well, the scripture calls them hirelings.
Yeah.
Right? They set Jacob this wrong path, and then they escape through the back door.
Yeah.
That's what they're planning on doing, but it's not going to work.
They shall know it after death by pain.
Damn.
This is Ezekiel 33 and 33, and I get the NLT as well. It says, and when this coming to pass, lo, it will come. That's who we're waiting on. We're waiting for, these prophecies to be fulfilled. All right? It says, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. Right? Now the NLT, it says, now when all these terrible things happen to them, right? Because the prophets, that's our job, to prophesy. All right, let you know the end time prophecy and the things to look forward to, right? As our Lord makes that great visitation. All right, it says, as they certainly will, then they will know a prophet had been among them.
All these terrible things.
Yeah.
But any brothers have any precepts or closing points they want to make? Hey, well, with that, we hope you sincere Akim and Akwat out there were edified by this lesson. And, we're going to, salute you brothers and sisters that are on the comment board. Hey, Shalom, Akim, Wahakwat, Hawabai, Shem, Yahshai, Barakathon. And again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers enduring to the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Kwame Yasharam.
Kwame Yasharam.
Hey,